Greetings, Naked News Guy here. Today I want to talk about my 33rd political position, which is no property taxes on family farms. Now, one of the greatest expenses for all farmers is property taxes, pure and simple. And one of the worst things about these expenses is that it is depending on what the government in that area says your land is worth, irregardless of what you use that land for. So a perfect example, you have a small farm in, let's say, Middle Tennessee. Okay, that farm has paid $20,000 a year in taxes. You know, you're raising maybe some tobacco, you're raising a few cows. Well, they decide that they're going to build an apartment complex across the street. Now your tax bill goes up to $500,000 a year. You can't afford it. You get pushed off your land. They take that good farmland. They build more crappy apartment buildings for more out-of-staters and more people coming in from other countries. This needs to end. You know, property taxes should not be applied to any farm that makes less than $1 million a year in gross income and the family that owns the farm operates the property. In other words, if that farm makes under $1 million a year in gross income, you live on the land and you operate it yourself, which for purposes of this would mean you have less than 5 employees. I'm not talking about, you have one guy living in your barn that helps with your horses. Then you should pay no property taxes on your farm. I get it. Taxes are a necessity. We need to have taxes to do things like maintain roads in this country, maintain water systems, things like that. But there's no reason we should lose our family farms because some jackass from another state decides he wants to turn this area into a new housing development. And not only is this good for the family farmer, it's good for our cities. And what I mean by that, there is no reason that we have entire neighborhoods and cities that have been abandoned and have turned into basically holes in a donut because people keep moving further and further out from that city and keep building more and more and eating up more and more farmland. Meanwhile, there's nothing in certain downtowns. An example of that is Lubbock, Texas. The old downtown area is pretty much abandoned, and meanwhile, they keep building more and more stuff further and further and further out from the city center, which is eating up more and more farm and ranch land. So real simple here. If you're a family farmer, you operate your farm, you have less than 5 employees, and you make under $1 million a year in gross income, you should not pay property taxes. Pure and simple. Again, I'm offering solutions here, not just complaints about the way things are, something that neither major political party seems to do. Naked News Guy here. Like and subscribe for more content.